Hi, Ingrid again. Welcome to the Week 11 recap of Ethan and Ingrid's 2024 big year. We're still at home in Maine and will be here until we leave for New Mexico in about a week. In the meantime, we have been attempting to pick up the few northeast winter birds that have eluded us to date. On Sunday, we took another shot at finding a northern saw-whet owl. So far, we've been very lucky on owls. To date, we have checked off barred owl, eastern screech owl, great gray owl, great horned, long-eared, short-eared, barn, mottled, and burrowing owls. But the tiny northern saw-whet owl, which lives undetected all over the state of Maine, has eluded us. We decided to try Eaton Farm, a nearby wildlife preserve run by a local youth camp. With meadows surrounded by forest, Eaton Farm appeared perfect for an owl looking to hunt for mice and voles. Arriving right about dusk, we didn't hear the toot-toot-toot song of the saw-whet. Instead, we heard the peent, peent, peent call of the American woodcock all around us. Suddenly, we heard an almost metallic toot, toot, toot.
Cool.
Finally, we had our northern saw-whet owl for the year. Have you ever bought a new car and on the way home noticed dozens of the exact same car in places you have never seen them before? The same thing happens with birds. You struggle for a month trying to find a particular bird, and once you find it, you are guaranteed to see the same species several times a day thereafter. We saw our first purple finch of the year on Tuesday, after many failed attempts to locate one. On Wednesday, we saw a bunch of them. Makes no sense. Having ticked off virtually all species in Maine, we traveled south to Hampton Beach, New Hampshire on Wednesday to find a grassland bird of the Great Plains, the Lapland Longspur. In the Northeast, they can often be found with flocks of snow buntings and horned larks. We found the flock of snow buntings and horned larks within a minute of arriving. So finding the Lapland Longspur should have been easy, right? Wrong. Imagine 50 constantly moving brown and white birds, all with slightly different plumage, and every couple of minutes they leap into the air, fly around in circles, and then land 50 yards away. It took us an hour to find the one bird that was not like the others, and only confirmed it was a Lapland Longspur via a fuzzy photo when we got home. Ethan and I share a saying, "The camera giveth and the camera taketh away." Sometimes we leave the field certain that we have seen our target bird, only to get home and learn from our photos that we were wrong. This happens more than we would like, but every once in a while, the camera rewards us with confirmation that we really did see a bird we weren't 100% sure of. This was the happy case with the Lapland Longspur. As I mentioned earlier, we hit the road again in a week with planned birding stops in New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, and Illinois. Some of these stops will be in the deserts and others on snowy mountaintops. The planning and logistics can be complicated. Hotels, reasonable daily driving distances, and of course, determining where the birds are. For the latter, we have built an app. Rather, Ethan built the app with design and testing help from me. We call it the Big Year Assistant. Before Ethan retired in late 2020, he was a software programmer, primarily writing code for insurance companies, often disappointing kids when he told them he didn't write games. When we decided to do a big year, Ethan began to look at the puzzle of how to find birds that are constantly moving from place to place and from season to season. Cornell University operates eBird, an online database of bird observations providing scientists, researchers, and amateur naturalists with real-time data about bird distribution and abundance. Ethan wrote a mobile app that crunches that data and tells us where to find birds we haven't seen. Let's say we are in Santa Fe, New Mexico. These are the birds we haven't seen yet. Let's say we decide to find a mountain chickadee. These are all the mountain chickadees reported nearby recently. Let's pick one to chase. From here, we get driving and/or hiking directions, links to the eBird sighting report, and various online field guides. And once we've clicked the Marked as Seen button, the mountain chickadee disappears from our maps and table. So far, our app has been a big help. Often while Ethan is driving, I will search the county we are in for any unseen birds. If a bird isn't too far off of our route, we might decide to chase it. We have gotten many ticks this way. While back in Maine, we have made revisions to the app based on our experience using it on the first part of the road trip. We are eager to try out our new and improved version when we head back to the Southwest next week. We invite you to follow our birding adventures at bigyearbirding.com. Happy birding!